What's up, y'all? Check this out. Oh, you probably can't. Hang on. Yeah, see, check this out. These tapes say Katie's and O'Neill's. They're from sessions that I was at in New York in August of 1997. I found these recently, just going through a bunch of old stuff, and what I'm hoping is on there is a recording of a fellow named Andy McGann, which is that tune that I just played. It's one of his. A session with him and a couple other folks that are just legends of the Irish traditional music scene in New York. Certainly in the 90s, it was a huge part of the scene. And I'm hoping it's some gold, because I had this really great stereo microphone tape recorder that I spent some money on, had 2 mics on it, and I remember it being pretty good. The trouble is, I have no way of getting the audio off of these because I don't have a tape deck. So I'm trying to track that down and then convert it into MP3s, and maybe I'll figure out some way to do a video with that or post it on my Patreon, something like that. Point is, when this tune came up, it occurred to me to go and see if I can find some of this hopefully good, interesting, quality music on these tapes and do something with it. So hopefully I will. For now, let's break down the basic melody of this very cool reel. Now, I am playing a flute version of it that I got from Michael McGoldrick. I'll link his version down below. It's different from the fiddle version, the more common setting, and I'll get to that when we get there. But here's the basic melody that I play. That's where it's a little bit different. I play the B up the octave because I don't have the notes below that you would hear on the fiddle. So a little bit different there. Here's the second section. Third section is a bit of a repeat. And then to finish, again, that same B, it's the same octave jumping deal. Here's the last section. Now I'm going to play the whole part, the whole A part all the way through. And then I'm going to talk about what happens the second time through, because it's a little bit different. But here's one A part all the way through. Hopefully you're able to get through all of that. The second time through, it's a little bit different. It's got a kind of a cool walk down ending, which is sort of the hook of this deal, but here's how that finishes. See, so it's got that neat. Those nice long notes, which are kind of fun when it gets to ornamentation and accompaniment time. The B part has this cool arpeggio thing in the second octave. Here's the basic melody there. That should sound fairly similar, at least the last half of that. That's the same way that the A part ends. Second half. Now, the same way that the A part ends differently the second time through, the B part ends differently second time through. I'm going to play the whole B part all the way the first time, just so you'll get that. Then we'll talk about the difference here. So, full B part all the way through. second time through is quite a bit different. So here's the basic melody for that. I'll just play the whole second time through. It's all one bit here, so. Hopefully you're able to get that whole middle section is different where it's got a big octave jump. One of the cool things about this tune, one of the trickier things about this tune is that it is significantly different from one time through the next time. More stuff to learn, I suppose. Hopefully you heard some good spots for ornaments, but in the A part, there's a couple of rolls right away. Again. That roll on B can be a little tricky, and I don't know if I've talked about this specifically before, but rather than doing the roll with the fingertip, I tend to hit it with the meaty bit, so I'll kind of throw my finger in a little bit closer, where I'm really just hitting this section here. And then I have to just be careful to get away from that position quickly. Just something to mess around with. Maybe it'll help make that roll a little quicker on the flute. Obviously on the whistle it's just as easy as any other one, but with this weird angle sometimes I think that helps. Now I'll do that triplet there, which I really like. It makes that transition I think sound kind of cool. So you're going from the F sharp up to the D, and then a roll on the E. When I land on that E, I'll do that popping extra grace note there, that crossing noise, so the whole phrase. Nothing else there, a bit of tonguing to separate the notes into that good, strong, real groove, hopefully. Then back around. To finish the phrase, so that same triplet. So I'll hit that crossing noise on the E, and then the double tap on the F sharp. That's how I finish it. Now the walk down. You could, well, by the time you get there, you could do a couple things. Where you got an extra eighth note in there, or just sliding into each note from the note below it. A couple of options. I usually triplet up into that high G or high D to start the second part. Otherwise, I don't really do anything on those arpeggios except try to hit them cleanly. You could try and play each of those notes in that arpeggio nice and clean, second octave, as written, so. Right, or you can make it a little bit dirty. So something like this. So you're kind of walking that line between the lower octave and the upper octave, and it's got sort of a neat growly effect. And as I walk down that scale, the only thing I'm doing is popping that extra grace note on the F. Double tap the F, I guess. Same phrase there. Again, triplet back into that D. All that's the same. Now that final phrase that jumps way up into the higher octave, play that whole thing. I'm really not doing anything else other than a couple of cuts. Otherwise, the only thing I'm doing there is some breath ornaments. And I've kind of saved that till the end because that is fairly flute specific. The rest of this you could play on the whistle, no problem. But using your diaphragm just to punch up a couple of those notes. It's one of the cool things about the flute. So I like to use that when I can, hopefully without overdoing it. Let me know what you guys think of this tune. I know it's not very common. It's a fairly obscure one. Check out that recording of Michael McGoldrick playing it. It's just awesome. It's really cool. A whole great set of tunes that he's got there. That's it for now. I will see you guys in the next one. Cheers.